Michael, pan the camera out and show them what we got. Our next drop is happening Friday, September 25th. So many hoodies. They are so soft, so amazing. This is going to be one of our largest drops ever with some of our best items. If you want exclusive and more pictures of us wearing them, text us 917-905-2169. I was about to ask Michael behind the camera, but we knew he wasn't gonna know it. Also, there's a link in the description to our mailing list and you will get exclusive time to be able to buy this merch early. So make sure you sign up for that. Guys, do not miss this, September 25th, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Italian Football TV. We heard your outrage. We saw all the comments, specifically from the Milan fans, and we feel your rage. We understand why you're mad. We watched and saw the FIFA21 ratings. Mike, the Milan fan, came out in this one. As he saw some of the ratings, he was not happy. So, in typical IFTV fashion, we have to show Serie A some justice.
Marco, who are we with to help us with those stats?
We are with the FIFA expert. Some might call him the FIFA god, Michael Labelle. Mike, how you doing? And welcome to IFTV.
Well, I'm doing wonderful. I've got on the Calcio joint, the Halloween edition. It's almost been a year, actually. I hope you guys are bringing out a secondary drop or release. I don't want to get too ahead. We haven't had that conversation. I don't know if there's any spoilers here, but I'm saying you should drop some more of these. One of my favorite releases. And I just feel in general, and you guys will love to hear this, and so all the Serie A fans, for the most part, the Serie A gets kind of shafted with FIFA ratings. They don't get treated the same way as the Premier League. When players sometimes even make transfers into the Premier League, they get all these new bumps. Their stats go up. And on the other end, you go into the Serie A, and it's a toss-up. It depends. What club do you go to? Who are you? Where did you come from before? What's your recognition looking like? What's your notoriety? But we have quite a bit to go through, and I think more people are upset than happy. I'd be on board with that.
That's understatement.
I swear, the people will not believe this. Labelle gave us a nice toss-up, both wearing two of the releases that's going to be in the next Calcio drop. I'll pop it on screen. I'm wearing a little Calcio Club hoodie. As we said, it's getting colder over here in New York. But let's get into this right away. We're looking at a list of FIFA 21, only Serie A players, give our opinions, see who stands out for us, and then maybe fix around the ratings if we were in charge. If EA is watching this video and they're like, we need some Serie A consultants to say who was good player.
We're their guys.
Maybe we'll be the people. So, Labelle, Labelle, who's been a great player for Milan, really explosive, young talent. He's got a 74 rating. Now, Mike, tell me, is this fair compared to where some of the other players in other leagues have been?
Dude, this
this Mike or this Mike? Which Mike are we talking about?
Okay, we need nicknames.
Labelle.
Oh, FIFA God.
FIFA God, please. I want your opinion. I don't want this kid.
I think with Raphael, he could easily make a case that he could be in some sort of low-rated gold. Anywhere from a 75 maybe to a 77. There's a couple guys though, and because this is all based on relevancy, so if you feel that Raphael is a 74, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm looking here at Kessie and I just can't believe he's a 77. We've seen some big upgrades. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for me, but you could easily have Raphael Leao could easily be somewhere between a 75 to a 78, give or take. A lot of that gets really debatable, but sometimes it's more important what your statistical allocation is. So what's good is that he's at least fast. Having speed is going to help him out a lot. I'm curious what they're going to give him for skill moves and weak foot. I mean, he's got good size. I think he's 6'1", 6'2". Give me a stat check.
I got it right here, but I don't know. What'd you say, 75 to 77?
Maybe even a 78 if you really want to stretch it upward. Okay. With young talent, developing talent, in general, Milan got kind of a bad group. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but when you look at the ratings, I was surprised. I saw a lot of the FIFA community was not on board with it. I'm sure that Milan fans are saying, that's not how our season really went. Hold on. Why do we have all these guys that are rated under an 80? Surely we should have some players that are knocking on the door of greatness because you're putting us as a mid-tier club and we're over here fighting to be in the top 4.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're looking at. Like if we keep going up in it, especially Benacer, who's one of the best midfielders for Milan, and also I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, he was nominated for our team of the season.
Yeah, he actually was.
Because he was a fantastic midfielder for them, and he's rated a 75.
Even Kessie too. I feel like he's been maybe in the beginning of the season they weren't as good, but towards the end, I feel like they really cement themselves of one of of the better midfielders in Serie A, not just Milan also. So
Since
I'm
they
really
were duo.
surprised. Since they were duo, so I'm very surprised that they were so low. I thought they'd at least be around 70, not 80, to be honest with you. I thought that would be
I'm
more
pushing.
fair.
I'm pushing 81. For all these guys, I would push 81. Labelle, are we crazy with the Benacer Kessia? They don't. Do they not correlate with the rest of the players?
I thought Kessie would be closer to being at least an 80. I was surprised that he's at a 77. We also had that summer heat iteration. And typically when I'm looking at upgrades for the following year, of course, what happens on the actual pitch plays a massive factor. The results of the club, your individual performance on that club. Injuries could also really hurt you, even if you played well in the time that you weren't injured. How many games did you miss? Also, I'll look at it from the FIFA end. So on the FIFA side of things, how many promotions were you involved in? Because we saw with Kessie in particular, he was part of the summer heat. And then also with Tonali, because Tonali started at 75 last year, so he did get, what is it, a 3-point increase? A 2-point increase.
Yeah.
My concern is that he has a 91 and an 84 on upgrade. So it's like, all right, well, how much are you going to give him? Still young talent. I think Kessie had to be higher, though. What they've done now is that's a downgrade. Last year, Kessie was a 79. So you're telling me that not only are you moving him in the wrong direction, this isn't an upgrade, this isn't an improvement. At least Tonali's getting a bump, the right move. You've brought him down 2 points. Do you feel that he had a season that meant that he should have been downgraded? That's my question then, I guess, both to you. Because not only, he's not even keeping his rating.
No, definitely not. No, he had a good season.
He had a better season than last season. That's why I feel like these guys are like picking numbers through a hat or something. Even Benacer, he shouldn't be that low. Benacer should be much higher than that.
I think this is the most debatable and probably negatively debatable year that we've seen thus far up to this point with the ratings. I'm happy that EA released the top 100. They gave us the in-game statistics, which allows you to go into more measurables. But I don't understand, because Kessie last year had an inform and he had a summer heat foot item. So if you're just looking at this from even a FIFA viewpoint, nothing happened that would have said that he would have not at least retained what he already had. For example, both Timo Werner and Aubameyang got downgraded. And I'm like, well, what the hell do they need to do in order to retain
Werner
their...
got downgraded?
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. What do these guys have to do? How many goals do you have to score? You got the captain of the team, FA Cup winners with Arsenal. This is your leader. The whole squad's built around him scoring, and he's done that. And then Timo Werner, the last 2 seasons, I mean, you might be able to say there's 4 or 5 guys in the world that have been better at scoring, maybe. That's it. I know this is mostly Serie A and we're going in a different direction. And I'm looking at Serge Gnabry. Last year, listen to this. If you haven't seen this, listen to this. 90 pace last year. He got upgraded in rating this year, but he went to 82 pace. So his upgrade is actually a downgrade. -8 to his pace. What, did he break one of his legs? What happened?
I wanted to talk about Çalhanoğlu, Hakan Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Çalhanoğlu.
said it perfect.
Yeah, I
Spot
thought
on.
I did it.
Spot on.
Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah, spot on.
He went down a point as well. Last year he was an 80. Yeah, well, he's not going to be usable on the wing at all. I mean, you look at his pace. There's no
More
chance
like
for
an
him.
attacking mid.
We would call him an SBC fodder in the FIFA community. If you pack him, he goes into an SBC.
How about Rebic, who's just above him? He had a great season too with Milan, one of the most impactful players for them, and really helped turn their season around. What do you think about him? Is he usable?
He might be usable, but I'm confused. He also was downgraded by a point. Last year he was an 80. Like, that doesn't make sense. You have a team that had a lot of success, especially after the Ibra infusion, right? Like, I'd say that if you're a Milan supporter, you're pretty happy with this year. Is that fair? The way that it turned around?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say. In comparison to the 2 portions of the season,
sure.
you have to be happy. And I'm confused, not only by the ratings, but by downgrades for players that were impactful and guys that were very easy to even measure their statistics. And even if you're looking at EA and what they provided from last year's FIFA or FIFA 20, they gave them upgrades. They improved them in the last year's game. Why are we going into FIFA 21 with downgrades now? Because you just said they were good during that season.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a new season to go off of yet. This is why Milan fans are pissed off.
Exactly. And
They're
they got a right
unhappy.
to be. They got a right to be. Let's move on to the next page where things start getting interesting, because now I'm starting to think about some of the players that we're going to have in our team. Theo Hernandez, an 80, probably one of the best left backs in the world. I think it would be fair to say the best left back in Serie A for sure. 92 pace, which is obviously something that we always look at. What do you think about Theo?
I mean, he's definitely going to be usable. Unlike a lot of these guys, he's going to be usable from the rip. And he got a big improvement from last year's title. So if you're familiar with FIFA updates and improvements, what number would have made you happy, I think, is the question. And some of this is relative.
82.
84.
But I was gonna say
84.
fullback. All right, so an 84 for a fullback
That's
is very
big.
high.
That's
It's just
big, bro.
there's not that many that are in that category. It comes down to where do you put him with the best left backs in the world? So I'll give you an example. Ferland Mendy for Real Madrid is an 83 in the game. João Cancelo is an 83 overall. So where does Theo Hernandez compare to João Cancelo for you?
He's better than Cancelo.
So if he's better than Cancelo, then you're saying that he should be an 83.
He just doesn't play for Manchester City. If he played for Manchester City, he'd
if
be
he played
84.
in the Premier League, he would have been higher.
He improved by 4 points. So that's a significant increase from the previous year. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be a little bit higher. I'd be completely cool with him being an 81 or an 82. I think in the FIFA world, it's very difficult to get into that 83, 84 and up range for a fullback. There's just not very many, especially not where they start for the year. There's very few. The highest rated fullback in the game is an 87 overall. We're looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold. He earned that.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking about fullbacks, I think finally Hakimi is one of the big signings for Serie A. One of Inter's biggest signings, filling in a role in real life. He's a right mid over here, which kind of disappointed me. What do you think about Hakimi's rating, and can we make him a right back, or are we just screwed now that Florenzi's not in the league and Hakimi's a right mid?
I think you're in trouble for using him because he doesn't really have the necessary statistical allocation to be a meta-based right wing or right mid. So unless EA introduces something new to FIFA 21 that I have not seen, where you can now make him a right back, you're really limited here because he's not good enough with some of the technical skills, with scoring goals, just the necessities that you'd like to have as a collective for a winger, but he's perfect as a wing back or even a traditional right back. That would work, at least in FIFA terminology, it would be fine. So I'm happy that he's at 83. I think it's a good rating. It's a good overall. For usability, I'm not sure. I mean, you could include him. Maybe? Yeah, you could play him, but he would quickly be someone that you would replace in your squad. The other thing too is you might have to pay more of a premium for him because he's an 83 overall. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're going to compare him to other 83s in the same position, you probably have better options. So then it comes down to, well, how much is he going to cost? What's the price point? Whereas if he was a fullback, especially in the Serie A, if he was battling it out against right backs, he might make an easy case to be top 2 or 3.
We'll need one of those changers like Cuadrado, how he went from right mid to right back. Tell me anyone that you think that catches your eye as you go up. Any player specifically, whether it's very usable, whether you think that it was a wrong rating or he didn't get improved enough. Is there anything that catches your eye?
Oh, can I swap the order? Can I go from the top down?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll go top down real quick, okay? So Cristiano is going to be back in full effect. Last year in FIFA 20, Cristiano Ronaldo was maybe his weakest version we've ever seen since he became Cristiano. He just didn't have that extra bit of sauce, the extra pepper. You didn't have that marination that you wanted to have when you're dealing with Cristiano. Where
you're making me hungry over here, bro. Relax.
Yeah, he's got that BS factor. You know, he scores the ugly goals, but then he's gonna climb and be able to generate something beautiful with the skill moves and the breakdown and all that. He didn't really have it in FIFA 20. He was a little clunkier than we'd ever seen. It's going to be different this year. I know Messi's higher rated than him, but he's going to be better than Messi, 100%. Dybala, still with an 88, but at the same time, it's like everything statistically says that he should be great, and it hasn't happened for me in any FIFA installment. He's just been one of those players, kind of like a Griezmann, where statistically it looks good, but I don't know if it's a physical issue, if it's the fact that he only has a 3-star weak foot, which makes him more predictable. It kills some of his dynamic capabilities. Koulibaly, but you guys said you were disappointed with the season. I mean, 88 overall. Still got decent pace, got all the strength you could ask for, defending numbers through the roof. He's a little bit misleading because his pace, even though his acceleration and sprint speed are good, his agility and balance are awful. So he is kind of clunky, and it's worth taking that into consideration. He's not easy to link into teams unless you're building a full Serie A squad. Saw a lot of Lazio fans very unhappy with Immobile. I'm sure you represent those guys as well.
I loved your tweet about Immobile and Gnabry with the pace. Can you say it for? We're gonna pop it on the screen right now, but say it for anyone who didn't see that. Basically,
I was saying that I don't remember the quote, but in what world or what universe is Immobile faster than Serge? It's not. What? If you watch them play, that's not where there's the difference. If anything, it wasn't about Immobile being fast. It was more so that they had slowed down Gnabry to the point that you're saying, well, there's no way these guys are equal speed. You're telling me that Immobile is faster than Gnabry or faster than Sancho? Because he's faster than both, according to FIFA.
I saw this thing too. It said, and I'm gonna try to fact check it as I say it. It said that Suarez's physical was higher than Ronaldo's physical. Oh, it is. It's true. Ronaldo's physical is 77, and Suarez's physical is an 83.
You know who my choice though, out of this page, someone that's gonna be amazing. in my opinion. And early on, if you can get him early, it's going to be your budget shopping or your discount shopping Messi. You've got Alejandro Gomez is gonna do it. Pablo Gomez is gonna be the real deal. He's got the speed. He's got the intricacies. He's gonna have the quick movement. It's still gonna be very relevant in FIFA 21. If you've been watching a lot of the gameplay videos, it resembles FIFA 20 in many ways in terms of what you're looking for. And the skill moves now are much stronger. Because they are allowing chaining in FIFA 21 without punishment. So that means you can go into skill move combinations. And I've always said that Gomez kind of orchestrates that attack for Atalanta. He gives you that creative, he gives you that vision, he gives you that true number 10. And typically the Serie A is a cheaper league than going into the Premier League or even La Liga throughout the history within FIFA. So you can get him for probably a much more affordable rate, and he's going to make a big difference early on. Only downfall is that he only has 72 or 73 stamina, which means that you're probably going to have to sub him at about the 70th minute. Let me tell you why Lukaku is disappointed.
Tell us.
Not only from a statistical standpoint, because we can sit here and read stats all day. It's no problem. He scored tons of goals for Inter. So Lukaku got the most disrespected from the high-end guys, so the higher-rated players. And I'll tell you why. It's really simple. Last year, he goes to Inter Milan. So he's coming off a bad season basically at United, or maybe not a bad season. He's coming off an average season. And then FIFA 20 arrives. They give him an 85 overall in FIFA 20 based on him having a lackluster or a secondary or not reaching expectation type of season and transferring to the Serie A. Okay, so he's at an 85. This year, he has an 86 in form, 87 in form, 88 in form, 89 in form. He has a Europa card for the 89. He has another 89 and another 90 to go with a one to watch that's up to a 90. And he got a team of the season, which is a 95. So this guy has, what is it, 7, 8 upgrades. 7 or 8 throughout 1 year. And you give him the same rating that he had after a season where we're all saying that he was average at best. That's why Lukaku's upset. That's why he's salty. That's why he says, I can't do this. I'm not getting into politics. What you going to do? But I understand the argument. It's like, what does he have to do to get an upgrade?
I agree with what you said. It's like, what does this guy have to do? He broke almost every record, scored tons of goals on the field, off the field. Incredible player. So that's what's surprising the most. You took my pick, but I'm gonna piggyback on top because I agreed with all your opinions. Mike, who's your one pick over here that had you baffled, or that you want to praise, or that you are looking most forward to?
I mean, this wasn't easy. It probably took me a while because there's so many laughable ratings and stuff. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Lukaku De Vrij from Inter. I think he was probably one of the best center backs last season in Serie A. By slightly.
Vrij was here.
Manolas was like at the bottom of the table. Yeah, probably because on the table. But De Vrij 100% was the best Inter center back, and they give him 84 while they have Godin and Skriniar, who hasn't even really been a starter. He's been benched by a 19-year-old Bastoni. And
who's a 74.
Who's a 74 and whatever, who cares about that? He's new. But De Vrij, who's been the best center back for Inter, gets an 84 while Godin and Skriniar get an 85. I think that's horrible. If Godin and Skriniar get an 85, then De Vrij deserves an 89 because he's been incredible this season.
To build from that with De Vrij, it's a similar story to Lukaku. And you start asking, well, what does he need to accomplish in order to get an improvement or any sort of change in a positive direction? Because when you look at his foot item last year, same rating. It's an 84. He has 3 informs. He had a team of the season. So you're confirming that he was amazing.
He was.
Right? You're confirming this. So it's confirmed not only real life, but it's confirmed in FIFA as well. We have double confirmation. So
but yeah, they still mess something up.
No, so then it's like you said he's good on EA's end. The people say he's good. His club says he's good. The results say he's good. Everybody says he's good. So then you ask, like, he's got to go up at least a point. At least 1 point, right? At least 1 on the overall. These ratings this year are really weird. I will say this. I think the Lit's going to be good as well. I think he's going to be a little more overpowered this year coming into FIFA 21. I just got that vibe.
That's what I like to hear. I want to go through a couple quick fire questions, and I didn't tell you this was going to happen, but Jacob Montes asks, in your opinion, why do you think Serie A always gets overlooked in their FIFA rating?
It's not really a quick fire answer. I mean, I'm not on the back end. I'm not at the meet and greet where they have some sort of table with sandwiches and they're discussing these ratings. I wasn't invited for that open room discussion. I'm confused as well to a certain degree. Maybe they don't rate the league the same as some of the other leagues in equivalence. That might not be a popular opinion, and that's not Mike's opinion. I'm just trying to put together why players don't get the ratings they deserve. If you're not Juventus, I feel that you often will get shafted based on the ratings, unless you're coming from Premier League. All the Premier League guys get the better ratings. It seems like that's across the board.
We've got a fun question from Luca, but I don't think you're going to be able to answer it. He said, Labelle, what would be your ratings of each IFTV member of the podcast if they were in FIFA?
Well, I know Antonio's going to get a 99 aggression, so his physical stats are going to be through the roof. It's gonna be incredible. He's gonna be just like Marco on the pitch. You guys don't know this, but Marco's the nicest guy off the pitch, but right when the whistle blows, he's a disaster. He's a monster. He gets extra powers if it starts raining. He just loves the rain.
True.
I don't understand it. I've never seen someone so excited for bad weather ever. Give him cold and rainy, and you don't need a night at Stoke. You just need a night with Marco. It's a date night. As an overall, I got this. So I've never seen Mike play. So I don't know where to place Mike.
I can send you a video.
I got you. Marco, we're giving you a 77 center back, undersized though. So 5'10" center back. I wouldn't give myself a 77. What position do we put Antonio? Where does he play?
He's a center back.
Oh, he's also a center back.
Yeah.
So that's the partnership.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You guys, nobody's gonna play against us. You're gonna kill the other guys on the team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that Antonio was better than you in his prime, so we're gonna give him a prime Antonio rating. He's gonna be at an 81. I heard that he's still playing tennis at a high level right now. I'm trying to put in an application to be his doubles partner. I have no idea where to put you, Mike. You guys want to run 3 at the back together? It'll be the smallest back line ever. Do we have anybody that's gonna have any height over there? Like we got Marco.
Anto's tall.
Yeah, but that's what he's gonna make up. We got Cannavaro Mike over there. Mike Cannavaro. Marco's more of a Gattuso. And then I don't know what to put Antonio as. What do you think he'd be? I feel like
he's a Baresi.
I was gonna say I would have put him even at like he had Suarez tendencies. Like I could see Antonio biting somebody if it came down to it.
Okay, what about Peter? I know you've never seen him play, but based off what you would imagine about Peter.
Peter's a smart guy. He's a tactician. I think I'd like playing with Peter.
Kind of like Cambiaso. I think that's the guy that he likes to play like.
All right, Cambiaso. That would, of course, he would like that.
Yeah.
That would support everything in his life. You just gave him the biggest compliment he's got all year. I'm putting us all into the high 70s, but he's gonna have low stamina. If you've hung out with Peter, Peter likes eating. Guarantee that Peter is gonna come in with low stamina because he's gonna be eating before the game, maybe even during the game. He's like one of those people. Peter's one of those guys. Like I'm telling you, we've hung out now a little bit. Love Peter. He gets excited when you eat. He's so Italian. So I like that. I like that. It's a great guy to go out to have food with. He's only giving you one half of the game. So you could pick. You want the first half or the second half with Peter. But I think he's going to be a surprise. I think he's going to be way more technical than expected.
He's amazing. The guy who cannot steal the ball from him.
Yeah.
Me and him, we always play against each other because we kind of go in the same position. I can never steal the ball from him, and we just fight all game long. But he lasts like 10, 15 minutes. He gives 100% for those 15 minutes, but then after that, he's kind of just like there, you know? Mike, Labelle, thank you so much for having you on. I think that a lot of the Serie A fans will love to hear what you said. I think you gave also some good insight to players that a lot of our followers are going to need to cash in on right away. Like you said with that Papu Gomez, who I personally really love. Using him.
Hold on. I got you. Before on the outro, these are guys that I would pick up immediately. Ready? Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo, if you can get him. Okay. Papa Gomez is gonna be amazing. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna be good to go. I like Savic. I like De Ligt this year. Mertens is always keeping his rating. I think De Vrij is still gonna be decent, not amazing, but decent. And then Hernandez will be fantastic. Hernandez just has all the stats in the right places. Even though he's not super high rated, he will still be one of the best fullbacks in the game to start the game.
Love it.
Without a doubt.
Awesome.
Love it.
I think for the majority, we hit all the major talking points. But if you guys, if you missed a player, let us know down below who deserves to have high ratings. Did we talk about them to give Serie A some justice?
Guys, give a big thank you to Mike Labelle. His links are in the description right now. Give him a follow. I have to admit to you, Mike, FIFA21's coming out. I need to take part in your FIFA school because I know you have a FIFA school with our boy George. So I need to get better. You played at a high level. Have you ever played against somebody that like you despise playing against in FIFA?
I despise not necessarily the individual, but their play styles. I don't know if anybody was so offsetting with the way that they acted to the point where I was like, I really just dislike this guy as a person. It always stayed kind of on the virtual pitch. I know that's a politically correct answer, but I'll tell you right now, I could hate the way they did things. You park the bus, you run to the corner.
So the follow-up, the reason why I was leading up to this is because I do have that in my life. I have somebody that I just truly despise when I play against them. And I think I need to enroll in your FIFA school because, as I said, we have this FIFA God tournament, which is a big bragging rights for our friends. And I did make it to the final of the last one. But like I said, I just had this guy that I cannot stand, that I hate with all my heart. and I lost him in the final. And unfortunately, he's also sitting right next to me. So any little push that I could get, I think I need to binge watch your YouTube channel. Take your FIFA school, come over, study. You need to put me through a training boot camp so I can kick this guy's ass in the next tournament.
And I play with Napoli too, so hopefully they're kind with them in FIFA21 because they're so fun to play with.
Labelle, are you down for the challenge to make me the next FIFA god?
Well, I could definitely make you better than Mike. If that's what this is all about, we can get you better than Mike.
Yes.
No problem. That's not an issue.
Labelle, again, thank you. Everybody that's watching, go give Labelle a nice thank you. Follow him on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. All the links are in the description. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Comment down below who you are most excited to have in your ultimate team. As always, we'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys.